The Super Hercules is only one single deal. It costs $1 billion, but make no mistake, it isn't the last. Far from it. America is engaged in a veritable tornado of hard sell of weapons to India, all told potentially worth $50 billion in just the next 10 years. From aircraft to missiles to radars to naval warships, it's the biggest pitch of arms India has ever had on its hands. You name a piece of American weaponry and chances are it's competing for an Indian contract. Because nobody, just nobody sells weapons the way Washington does. In the decades since American sanctions were lifted on India, all three Indian defense services have become users of American equipment. In 2002, the Indian Army broke the impasse by ordering American weapon locating radars, a historic decision that opened the proverbial floodgates. In 2006, the Indian Navy became the first owner of American warship USS Trenton. 2 years later, it ordered 8 Boeing P-8 maritime reconnaissance aircraft. In December this year, the Indian Air Force completes the trinity with the first of 6 C-130J Super Hercules tactical transports. But this is nothing compared to what's in the pipeline. Currently, the most visible objects on offer, the American F-16 and F-18 fighters, both compete furiously for a massive $11 billion Indian Air Force deal, its single largest ever. The Soviet vintage MiG-21 is still the backbone of the Indian Air Force. It's served amazingly well for over 4 decades, but like with everything in the Indian military and the political scene, things have to change, and substantially. So much so that in the next generation, India's frontline fighters may not actually be Russian for the first time ever. India and the US are about to sign their single biggest defense deal yet for 10 Boeing C-17 heavy-lift aircraft worth over $5 billion. India is currently conducting trials of the American M777 ultralight howitzer gun. The army wants 145 guns worth over $600 million. The Russian Mi-35 is an absolute monster. It's a Soviet vintage attack helicopter, and it's the only attack helicopter that the Indian Air Force has ever really used. But the helicopter that wants to be the Indian Air Force's next generation attack and anti-tank helicopter is one that's even more iconic. The legendary Boeing AH-64 Apache helicopter competes for a contract to supply 22 assault choppers to the Indian Air Force, while the CH-47 Chinook competes for a 15 helicopter order. It's the Sukhoi 30 MKI today. Tomorrow it'll be the 5th generation fighter aircraft, a joint program between India and Russia, and who knows what it'll be after that. The fact is, it's the very nature of aerospace power to change almost every single week, every single month, every single year. And these are just the big ones. In all, the United States has offers running into over $40 billion for the Indian Armed Forces. If things go the way Washington wants them to, Russia will forever lose its cherished status as India's biggest supplier of military hardware. In New Delhi, Shiv Arud headlines today.